Football fans, what a summer we've had. The 2025 transfer window has finally slammed shut, and it didn't sneak by quietly. It exploded with record fees, shocking surprises, and bold moves that could completely change the face of European football this season. From the Premier League to the Bundesliga and even the Turkish League, clubs went all out to strengthen their squads, and today we're diving into the best of the best, the signings everyone will be talking about all year long. Let's start with the club that stole most of the headlines this summer, Liverpool. The Reds made their intentions crystal clear by breaking the British transfer record to land Alexander Isak from Newcastle United for an eye-watering £125 million. Isak has already shown he can dominate in the Premier League, and now with the famous red shirt on his back, expectations are through the roof. He's not just a striker, he's a complete forward with strength, pace, and clinical finishing, and Liverpool are banking on him to fire them back to the very top. Last season with Newcastle, Isak scored 21 goals across all competitions, proving he has the killer instinct needed at the highest level. Fans love his composure in one-on-one situations, and defenders dread his ability to peel off the shoulder and attack space. At just 25 years old, he's only getting better, and Liverpool's decision to spend big could easily pay off for the next decade. But the spending spree didn't stop there. Liverpool went back into the market and secured Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen for more than £100 million. Wirtz is one of the brightest young playmakers in world football, the kind of midfielder who sees passes that no one else does and who can control games with his creativity. He was absolutely vital to Leverkusen's title-winning campaign, contributing 18 goals and assists combined in the Bundesliga. What makes him so special is not just the stats, it's the way he glides past players, the way he can unlock defenses with a single touch, and his fearless attitude despite being just 22 years old. At Anfield, he'll be tasked with being the creative heartbeat, linking up with Isak and the rest of Liverpool's attack to form a devastating combination. And just when you thought the shopping cart was full, they added Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt for around £70 million, bringing even more pace, energy, and youth to their frontline. Ekitike is still only 23 but has been on the radar of Europe's biggest clubs for years. His breakthrough came in League One with Reims, and after a spell in Germany where he scored 15 goals last season, Liverpool decided it was time to pull the trigger. He's quick, direct, and loves to run at defenders, which makes him the perfect weapon off the bench or even as a starter in a rotated front three. With Isak, Wirtz, and Ekitike, Liverpool didn't just buy players, they rebuilt their attack from the ground up, sending a message to the rest of Europe that they're ready to compete at the very highest level again. Meanwhile, over at Old Trafford, Manchester United also made waves by reshaping their forward line. First came Benjamin Šeško from RB Leipzig in a deal worth close to £70 million. Tall, powerful, and ruthless in front of goal, Šeško is viewed as a long-term project, but one who could explode into a superstar immediately if given the right platform. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches, he's often compared to Erling Haaland because of his speed, strength, and finishing ability. Last season in the Bundesliga, he netted 14 times in all competitions and showed glimpses of a player destined for the very top. United fans are buzzing about his potential, and if he adapts quickly, he could become their main man for years to come. Alongside him, United splashed another £70 million on Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford, a versatile forward with pace, sharp movement, and a knack for scoring goals in big games. Mbeumo was Brentford's talisman last season, scoring 10 and assisting 8 despite missing part of the campaign through injury. What makes him so valuable is his ability to play anywhere across the front line, left, right, or centrally, and still produce. His work rate is exceptional, and Erik ten Hag knows he's getting a player who not only scores but presses, hustles, and brings energy to every single match. And as if that wasn't enough, they dipped back into the Premier League to bring in Matheus Cunha from Wolves for around £62 million, a player with flair, energy, and the unpredictability that can turn tight matches in United's favor. Cunha's dribbling and close control are elite, and his ability to pick up pockets of space makes him a constant threat. He bagged 12 goals for Wolves last season, but beyond numbers, it's his entertainment value that makes him special. Put those three together, Šeško, Mbeumo, and Cunha, and United suddenly have a brand new attack brimming with promise, but of course, the question is whether they can gel quickly enough to power United back into the title race. Across London, Arsenal also made a major move by snapping up Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace for a fee that could rise to £67 million. Eze has long been admired for his dazzling dribbling and silky technique, and now he steps into an Arsenal side chasing glory. For the Gunners, this is more than just a signing, it's a statement of intent. They're adding creativity, unpredictability, and depth in exactly the area they needed it most. Last season, Eze scored 11 goals and provided 4 assists for Palace, often being the player to carry them forward when the team struggled. His ability to beat players in one-on-one situations makes him a nightmare for defenders, and at Arsenal, surrounded by talents like Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, he could reach an entirely new level. Arsenal fans know that Eze could be the spark that pushes them one step closer to lifting the Premier League trophy. But the action didn't stop in England. Over in Germany, Bayern Munich pulled off a headline move of their own, prying Luis Díaz away from Liverpool for around £60 million. Díaz, with his electrifying pace and flair, will bring fresh energy to Bayern's wings and give them the kind of attacking threat they've always thrived on. Losing him is a blow for Liverpool, but for Bayern, it's a coup that could reignite their European dominance. Díaz has been one of the most exciting wingers in Europe over the last few years, contributing 13 goals and assists combined last season. His direct dribbling, relentless energy, and ability to score spectacular goals make him a nightmare for full-backs. With Bayern always hungry for Champions League success, Díaz could be the man to tilt tight matches in their favor. And if that wasn't shocking enough, the Turkish giants Galatasaray stunned the footballing world by landing Victor Osimhen from Napoli for around £65 million. Osimhen, one of Europe's most feared strikers, moving to Turkey is a statement that Galatasaray are ready to make noise not just domestically but in Europe as well. The thought of Osimhen in front of those passionate Istanbul fans is enough to give anyone goosebumps. The Nigerian striker scored 16 goals in Serie A last season, following up from the 26 he netted in the Scudetto-winning campaign before. His explosive pace, aerial dominance, and relentless pressing make him one of the most complete forwards in world football today. Galatasaray's gamble is bold, but if Osimhen hits the ground running, it could change the perception of Turkish football across the globe. Even Newcastle United managed to pull off a sneaky but exciting deal, bringing in young German forward Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart for roughly £65 million. Tall, technical, and full of potential, Woltemade might not have the headlines yet, but he could prove to be a clever piece of business that pays off in the long run. At 23, he scored 10 goals and provided 5 assists in the Bundesliga last season, and scouts have long praised his ability to link midfield to attack. For Newcastle, who lost Isak, this move might just be their way of investing in the future while still keeping the present competitive. When you put all these moves together, the picture becomes clear. Liverpool have completely overhauled their attack with Isak, Wirtz, and Eberechi. Manchester United have gambled on a brand new frontline with Šeško, Mbeumo, and Cunha. Arsenal have added creativity and flair in Eze. Bayern Munich reloaded with the pace and trickery of Díaz. And Galatasaray, against all odds, brought in a striker of Osimhen's caliber to shake up Turkish football. This transfer window wasn't just about money, it was about ambition, about clubs showing the world they're ready to fight for dominance. And now the real story begins. Will Alexander Isak live up to his record-breaking price tag and fire Liverpool back to glory? Will United's new trio finally give them the firepower they've lacked in recent years? Could Eze be the missing piece of Arsenal's title puzzle? Will Luis Díaz shine in Bavaria, and can Osimhen light up Istanbul the way we all expect? One thing is certain, this season is going to be unforgettable. So football fans, the deals are done, the squads are set, and the stage is ready. Who do you think will be the signing of the season? Let me know your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this journey is only just beginning.